everyone, it's Molly here again for another video, and this one is on blind dating. And I literally mean blind dating, because of course I am blind and I am in the dating world again. Oh, bye Gala. So about going on 3 months now, I've been single, and I got out of a relationship that was almost 2.5 years long. I'll link the breakup video down below. And so I've been back in the dating world again, and I'm certainly at this point not looking for anything serious. In fact, I'm very comfortable and very confident being single. I'm certainly not one of those girls who needs to go from one boy to the next, one relationship to the next. No thank you. I'm comfortable being single right now. I just got out of something serious. I'm not looking to jump right into anything else serious, but I'm definitely not opposed to meeting new people and going on some dates. But there is some key differences between dating when you're blind and dating when you're sighted. It's a whole different ballgame, alright? And, you know, I got so many comments when I was with Matt and after our breakup even about just like how much hope our relationship had given you guys, my viewers, especially those of you who also have disabilities or things that you're self-conscious about when it comes to dating. And I just want to tell you that there is somebody out there. You will find that person. And you know, Matt is not the only amazing boyfriend I've had. I'm 21 now, but I've been dating seriously. Sorry, my dog is all over the place here. But I've been, you know, dating seriously since I was 14. And so I've had a number of boyfriends, some meh, but 2 that have been amazing, including Matt. And I'm not a believer in there's one soulmate for everyone. I think there's lots of people out there for everyone, and you will find that person. Trust me, you will, and I know I'm gonna find another awesome guy one day again as well. So I feel like this video might be a little bit jumbled up. I don't know, there's like a lot I want to say and things that are floating around in my head, so I apologize if it's a little rambly and all over the place, and hopefully it's interesting or helpful to some of you who also have disabilities or are maybe dating somebody who has a disability. So after my breakup, I really, not straight after obviously, but you know, maybe about a month, 6 weeks after the breakup, I really wanted to get back into the dating world again, not to find somebody, but just to get that first date after a breakup out of the way. And if you've been in a long-term relationship, you know what I mean. When you've been with somebody for a long time and that's the only person you've dated, it's really intimidating and scary to think about going on a date with somebody who's not that person. And the last date I went on before I started dating Matt was a really bad date. I won't say the guy's name, but it was not good. And so, especially with my anxiety disorder, the longer I wait to do something, the more anxious I'm gonna get about it. So I was like, I just need to go on a date. Like, I don't care how it goes. I don't care who it's with. I just want to go on a date so I can get it over with. And some of my girls were like, girl, you need to just join Tinder. Like, get on Tinder and just find yourself a date and go out with somebody. And I didn't think Tinder was gonna be accessible, but for you other single blind ladies out there, it actually totally is. Obviously, we can't see the photos, but everything else on the app is totally accessible. You can read their bios, their age, how far away from you they are. When you swipe on them, you can have conversations with them, no problem. The app is just totally accessible, which is hilarious because there's so many apps out there that are not accessible to voiceover, and an app that's known to be like photo-based, visual-based, is accessible. And if you have good friends or family that you trust, you know, you can get them to help you swipe. That's what I did. And I did end up getting asked out on a few dates. I didn't end up going on any. I don't know. I don't know. Wasn't my thing. But anyways, I just want to mention that it is accessible. If any of you blind ladies like me figured it wasn't, it is. Get on that. And it's actually kind of fun. It's definitely entertaining. So I had posted on my Twitter and my Facebook that I was considering doing a video on dating with disabilities. And a couple of you commented saying, you know, with some questions or curiosities, things I should mention, that kind of thing. And one of the questions, I believe it was Sammy who asked, do I bring up my disability on the first date? And number one, if a guy's going out with me, he knows I'm blind. Because either he's met me and so he knows that I can't see. I have a giant dog that comes with me everywhere. Hello, pretty obvious. But also, it's the day of Google. Anybody can just Google my name and blind and bullied and all this stuff comes up. So, you know, obviously if they're going on a date with me, they know I can't see. And if I ever thought that they didn't, I'm the kind of person that would straight up be like, by the way, you should know I can't see. Like, going into this date, you should know that I'm blind. So, there's that. And then, once I'm actually on the date though, yes, I do bring up my disability. It's not like the first conversation starter. It's not like, oh, thanks for buying me coffee, so I'm blind, let's talk about it. It's not like that. It's, you know, if the date is going well, I'll bring up, please feel free to ask me any questions. If there's anything you're curious about my disability or my journey, what I can and can't do, please feel free to ask me. I make sure they understand that I'm super confident and super comfortable about it, and they should be too. And honestly, I prefer when they start asking me questions because that does show me that they're okay with it, and that does show me that they're comfortable enough with it to ask me. So I like it when the guy starts to ask questions, and I'll also typically mention, you know, a couple of key differences with dating a person who has a disability, or specifically, in my situation, a person who is blind. Things that they should be aware of, whether it's the good or the negative, the pros and cons, and because I think there's both. And, you know, I'm very comfortable at this point in my life. I don't want to waste a guy's time, to be honest. Like, especially because for me, the age range that I'm looking to date is 23 youngest up to 28, 29. So I don't want to waste anybody's time, especially if they're a little bit older. I don't want to waste their time. So I'm very upfront. These are the things you need to know. You know, I can't drive a car, so you're going to be driving us everywhere. Or if I can't find a ride there or a way to get there safely, then you can't be mad at me if I can't come. You're going to need to help me fix my makeup every now and then. You're going to need to describe what's going on in the world around me. You're going to need to be comfortable with sighted guide. You're going to need to be okay with the fact that I don't go clubbing and crazy partying, because that's a really unsafe and scary situation for somebody who can't see, and now all of a sudden you're blasting music with drunk people everywhere, and now you can't hear anything. It's just not safe, so I don't do that. And just those things I mention to make sure that they understand. And I say, if this is something you think you can handle, let's keep dating. If not, or if at any point you don't think you can, I won't be offended if you walk away. Because I don't want them to feel awkward about it. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable, and I don't want them to feel bad about it. You know, we all need help with something in a relationship. Whether you have a disability or not, you need your partner to support you more with certain things. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And I'm just super upfront and honest about mine because I'm very confident about my disability. I'm not ashamed or embarrassed in any way. So I'm comfortable talking about it and being honest. And that might not be the way that every person with a disability chooses to do it, but that's how I choose to do it. And that's what makes me feel comfortable. And when you're on a date with somebody, it's just about doing what makes you feel comfortable. If you want to bring up your disability and share things with them, then you should do it. If not, do it however you want to. So I was talking to another girl with RP, the disease I have, and she had mentioned that, you know, it's so important to have that understanding of why it's important for our partners to tuck chairs in all the time so we don't walk into them, or not move furniture without telling us, or move our stuff without telling us, because we know where it is, and once you move it, it's gone. Even if you moved it 3 inches, we can't see it, it's gone. So just helping your partner to understand why those things are important is really key to a successful relationship. And at the end of the day, it's important for them to know, as well as for you to understand, that nobody will ever truly get it. My parents, who've been there through everything, will never truly get what it's like for me. I'll never truly get what it's like for anybody else with RP. We all have a totally unique experience. But you can try your best to understand, and I think it's important for partners to do that in general with each other, whether it is disability-based again or not. So something that she said that I thought was really smart is doing something like having them wear very dark sunglasses to a movie theater, and trying to be in a dim lit situation watching a movie when your vision is in some way obstructed. Or I feel like, for example, something I might do with a partner is blindfold them and bring them to a loud bar and show them how uncomfortable of a situation that is, how vulnerable you feel, and so they understand that when I'm saying I don't want to go to a bar, I don't want to go clubbing, or I don't want to go to a huge house party, I'm not being lame and I'm not being a diva. It's just an unsafe, scary situation for somebody like me. So yeah, I think that's a really good tip. Is just, you know, I've often had my friends blindfolded or my parents blindfolded for a meal to eat food, to experience that. It's just giving them those little snippets into your life. There was another good question that came up, which was, do you ever feel self-conscious when flirting or dating because you can't see physical cues or body language? And girl, yes. Oh my goodness. This is a huge, huge issue. So more than 90% of communication is nonverbal, which means facial expressions, body language, hand gestures. Oh, I have an itch. And when you can't see those things, it makes it tricky. And for example, I've been in many situations where I've been, you know, say at a party or something, a small gathering, and somebody will be like, ooh, that guy across the room is into you, like, he's looking over here, he's giving you the eyes, and obviously I would never know that. Or even situations where I'll have had a conversation with the guy and we'll leave and my friend will go, he was totally digging you, like he was into you. I was like, I would not have gotten that, like what? And they're like, his facial expression, his body language, the way he was leaning in and laughing, like smiling at you, just his eyes, like you could tell he was into you. All those things mean nothing to me. And a lot of times with flirting, it's not even about what they're saying, it's how they're saying it or how they're looking at you, or when you walk away and they watch you go. It's those little things that I know nothing about. And so I've gotten to a point in my life and all my friends laugh at me because I'm very forward. I'm just, you know, if I like a guy, I'll be like, look, I have feelings for you. Do you want to go on a date? I like you. I think you're cute. Let's go on a date. Like, I'm just really, really upfront about it. And I wish more people were like that. Like, can we just stop the mind games when it comes to dating? We're old enough now. Let's get over that. But nonetheless, guys in their 20s still love the mind games. Drives me nuts. But yeah, it's I just don't play those games. And I think it's partly because I'm very comfortable and very confident about my disability, and I understand the limitation that it has put on me in terms of figuring out this whole are they into me thing. So I'm just upfront about it. I'm like, look, do you like me? Because I like you. And if they say no, I'm like, okay, cool. Doesn't change a thing. And if they say yes, I'm like, great. We just skipped like 6 months of attempting to flirt and figure out if we like each other. Perfect. I wish everybody would just get down to it and do it like that. But my friends always laugh at me. They're like, how do you get the confidence to do that? And they always laugh because they're like, guys always want to date you. And honestly, I think it does actually come down to my confidence, to the confidence that I do have to go up to a guy and be like, I'm into you. Are you into me? Want to get coffee? And I think it is the confidence that I have in terms of I just own my disability. I'm just not ashamed of it at all. And I'm very comfortable talking about it. And when my friends are like, what's your secret? How do you get guys to like you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just myself. And I think that's my secret. I just am myself. And I think it's important for every girl or every boy to own who they are and be confident and comfortable with it. And I just went on a tangent that is, I mean, it's kind of related, but it's not totally related to what we're talking about. I'm sorry. Back to the questions. Another one of the questions is, have I ever dated another blind person? And I get this question all the time. People always assume, even like when I've had boyfriends, I'm like, oh yeah, talking about my boyfriend with somebody, they're like, oh, is he blind? Like everyone just assumes that blind people date other blind people, which a lot of blind people do, but a lot of blind people don't. And I know for me, personally, and a lot of my other blind friends, none of us would ever actually, did you just hear that? My hip cracked really loud. But a lot of us would prefer not to date a blind person. And I'm kind of going to contradict myself here because I always say, if a guy doesn't want to date me solely because I'm blind, he's not the kind of guy I would want to date if I was sighted. Like, I kind of view my disability, I don't know how to say this without, I'm sorry, excuse my language, like an asshole filter. Like, it like weeds out the bad ones, you know? Like, sucky boys aren't going to want to go on a date with me because I'm blind. But like, okay, if that's the kind of person you are, if you're that low, I don't want to date you either. Or even with friends, like, awful people don't want to be my friend because I'm blind. Well, great. If they're that awful, I don't want to be their friend either, even if I was sighted. So, you know, I think when it comes down to it, any guy that, or any girl that does go on a date with you and you have a disability, you already know they're like half decent because they've gotten to the point of going on a date with you and seeing past a major obstacle that other people, or seeing past something that other people might see as a major obstacle in a relationship. So there's that, but Now I'm going to contradict myself because I'm going to say, you know, they suck for not wanting to date me because I have a disability, but I wouldn't date another blind person. And obviously, you don't choose who you love. If I fall in love with a blind or visually impaired guy, yeah, I'm going to date him, of course. But it's not ideal. It's not my preference. And I would definitely date other people with disabilities in general. Like if there was a guy in a wheelchair, sure, if I like him, I'm going to date him. I don't care. Like, I can reach things he can't. He can see things I can't. Although I probably can't reach things that he can't because I'm so short. But that's a different issue. So what I mean by the fact that, like, I would prefer not to date another blind person is it's just so tricky. And I know because I have a lot of blind friends who have blind partners. And it does add an extra layer of challenge. I've grown up being used to having a pair of working eyes with me most places. And that's honestly quite convenient. You know, two blind people, your guide dogs throw up, well, who finds it with their foot first? And like, glass shatters on the ground, great, you're crawling around cutting your fingers open, and I don't know, it's just like there's so many things. It's doable for sure, but it's just easier if the guy has sight, easier if the guy can, if at least one of you can drive. So yeah, I would definitely date a person who's blind. I never have, and it's not ideal. It's not my preference. I would prefer to date a guy who's sighted. You can totally have another kind of disability, but I would prefer sight. That's just me. But I mean, hey, there's lots of blind people who prefer to date other blind people because they understand them better. It just depends. And then I think finally, the last thing I'll talk about in this blind dating video, and if you want to hear another video about blind dating or have other blind dating questions, please comment down below, let me know. I'd love to do a video on things that guys have actually said to me, or like just people in general, things that they've actually said to my face, because I've definitely had some pretty ridiculous things said to me from guys on dates or just in general, so I'm totally gonna make a video about that. But finally, there was a question about, you know, do I have like a cue with my boyfriend to know who he is in a crowd or that kind of thing, and I thought that was actually a really smart idea, but no, I definitely have never done that. And it has caused me to have some awkward situations, like walking up to random guys in public thinking they're my boyfriend, or like saying something to the guy beside me thinking he's my boyfriend. And it's kind of funny because I've caused some pretty like odd situations to pop up, but because I'm so comfortable with my disability, I end up not even feeling awkward. I just laugh about it and think it's hilarious that I had a total blind girl moment. And oh, side note, I'll link my blind girl, #blindgirlproblems blogs down below because I don't know, they're kind of funny. But I've had these situations and I just think it's funny. I just laugh at it. I think they probably walk away being like, that chick is weird, but I think it's funny. Maybe with my next boyfriend I'll come up with like some kind of sign to know it's him in public. But that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too long and rambly and out there. But that's what I have to say about the world of blind dating. Alright, I love you guys.